So I'm about to go live. The reason why I'm about to go live is because I'm eventually gonna put this video on Facebook because I don't have any space in my phone because I was gonna do the whole little by little record, da 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 da. I don't have any space on my phone, so I'm about to go live. These people at DFACS is this. Now, for me doing my researches, there was a lady named Nancy Schaefer. She was a senator. I believe she was a senator in Atlanta, but she was a senator in Georgia. Now, I don't know if she was a senator in the late 90s or early 2000s or whatever. Pay attention to this message, not pay attention to how I look because I don't look my very best, but I have to get this out. So this lady, she was the senator or whatever. Now her whole campaign was about her trying to keep DFACS in Georgia from getting money for adopting children out. So that means that every time they adopt children out, they receive some kind of supplement to put back in DFACS. She was trying to have that law changed because of the fact that it keeps it to the point when that's the case, it makes it to the point where you don't want to reunify the child with the parent. Because why would you want to reunify the child with the parent when you're getting some kind of incentive for having the children put with the adopted parents? So that means that even if the parent, the real parent, is actually a decent parent and they probably was just going through whatever they were going through, they probably was just having whatever hard time they was having, they probably was having whatever issue they were having, you're going to still find some kind of way. It turns it into a conspiratorial thing because you'll try to find something wrong with the real parent, or you'll keep moving the goalposts. Oh, we need you to do this. We need you to do that. We need you to do this. We need you to do that. We need you to do this and that. And once you do this, that, and the third, you can get your children back. But now it's something different because the system rather get the money to keep the system running rather than give you back your child. So this have happened to several people. It was a couple. A black lady and a black man who were married. Now, I don't believe it was in the state of Georgia. I believe it was actually Alabama, where they were married, had money. Both of them had good jobs, owned businesses. Okay? And these people, 5 children, and one by one, all their children was being put into the system, little by little. And there was nothing they can do about it. For 5 years at a time, they were fighting to get their children back. And these people had a professional lawyer. These people had money. They could pay out of pocket for a lawyer. They had businesses. They could get a lawyer that wasn't some public defender or whatever. And because the public defenders are very much in cahoots with the other side. These people have lunch together. These people eat food together. These people be at that courthouse all together, kikiing, laughing. So if you think that these public defenders are actually going to be on your side and fight for you, then you are sadly mistaken. So I'm saying all this to say, me and myself, I'm concerned with my situation being past the schedule of 18 months. All of my rights are violated. Every right I've had has been violated. And my children's father, who got a rap sheet longer than Robert Downey Jr., this man has been in jail. I'm talking about he has been in jail for important stuff, not just little petty stuff. He has been in jail. He's cut somebody across the face. That's attempt murder. Up north, he shot somebody in the face. Yeah, I'm telling all his business because he's getting on my nerves. He shot somebody in the face. That was an attempt murder. Then he came down here, cut somebody in the face. Did 6 months, got out during COVID. That was an attempt murder. Then he turned around in the middle of fighting that case, just got out of jail for that case. He turned around and got pulled over in another county and had a car full of pills. He went to jail for that. And then after that, he called a DUI, a drunk driving charge. So I ain't never seen nobody go to jail so many times in that small amount of time and not get in any serious trouble or not have to do any real time. This man never had to do any real time behind any of them charges. Okay, but me, my first offense, never been in trouble before. I'm on probation. I got to do a whole year's worth of probation They took my situation super seriously. And I was pregnant, 7 months pregnant at the time my situation happened. I didn't get no slap on the wrist. So what I'm saying is, I don't know, that seems very suspicious. I got to get on my Dr. Umar. Does that not sound suspicious? Does that not sound suspicious? Because it sounds suspicious to me. If this man keep going back and forth to jail, and then when these people, and when somebody's son get killed, somebody's son gets shot down in the street, and then you sit there and look at that person's rap sheet and how many times that person had been back and forth to jail, then you start wondering, if this person would have been in jail, they wouldn't have been out to kill my son to begin with, or cousin or nephew, because this person had a rap sheet longer than Robert Downey Jr. They weren't supposed to be out of jail anyway. They supposed to have been locked up somewhere. All them times they've been in trouble, they shouldn't even have been out in the streets. They shouldn't have been out to shoot nobody and kill nobody anyway. But the system does what they want to do. What I'm trying to say is, it seems like they are on his side. He was already working with DFCS before I even came down here from New York. I was down here for 10 days. He's picked some little stupid argument with me, and now all of a sudden I'm going to jail. After I had been down here for 10 days, he swindled me back down here. I was still pregnant with my second son. He told me that if I would just come down here, blah, 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 and like a dummy, I came down here. And after 10 days, I was in jail. He was already working with DFCS, mind you, because he told me that he was working with DFCS. Earlier that day, after we got into our first argument of the day, he told me that the DFCS lady was coming to pick him up and take him to buy shoes for the baby. I said, okay. He told me that the DFCS was not going to help not just him, but me. But of course, DFCS didn't want to help me. DFCS wanted to help him. And once I got involved, they no longer wanted to help. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, everything is about him. If he don't like it, it's not going to happen. He didn't want my mom. The boys have a right to be with their next of kin. The boys have a right. There's their legal right in the state of Georgia for when they go into the DFCS system, they're supposed to find your next of kin. He had no next of kin in the state of Georgia. All his kin people lived up north in North Carolina, Jersey, New York, whatever. He didn't have anybody in this state. My mom was here. My mom, they tried to get the boys back. They gave her a hard time, gave her a runaround. They was actually even telling me, oh, the supervisor said that she can't get him because she's problematic. I'm like, hold on. My sister just had this job. My sister just worked for DFCS. God bless her. She said it doesn't matter. As long as they're your next of kin, they should have the opportunity to try to test and go through the processes of becoming the children's caretaker until you're able to get them back. It shouldn't matter whether they're problematic or not, because it's called human services. So you're going to deal with human beings, and human beings aren't always easy to deal with. That's the reason why you get these trainings, and they always send you on these trainings. Believe me, because I had a human services job. I work at a domestic violence shelter, and every other 2 weeks or every other month or so, we have to go downtown and do these human services classes where they teach you how to deal with problematic people. That's not an excuse. But in the state of Georgia, where they do what they want to do, it's an excuse. Yeah, because basically, if we don't like you and we decide that we don't like you, then we got the right to mistreat you and violate your rights because we don't like you. In Georgia, in Columbus, Georgia, anyway. Down here in Columbus, Georgia, if you're not liked, you have no rights. So they gave my mom and my parents a hard time. Put them through all this and all that, kept moving the goalposts. First, only my mom need to provide them with this, that, and the third. Then it needed to be both of my parents to provide them with this, that, and the third. Then when they got that, oh, well, we need a letter of we need a recommendation letter. Then when we got the recommendation letter, oh, you need more than one recommendation letter. You need 2 recommendation letters. Then you got 2 recommendations. Oh, you need 3. Okay, so we got 3 recommendation letters. And then every time you're telling us that, you're waiting like 2 or 3 weeks in between time just to tell us that we need to get another recommendation letter. So every time you tell us new information, you wait 3 weeks, then you tell us. Then you wait 3 weeks and then you tell us. So long story short, they and my parents go through the processes. They get everything they're supposed to be getting. And then they finally move forward. And then my children's father called, and he wanted a family team meeting, and he said he don't like the fact that they're going over there with my mom. But they still go with my mom because at this point in time, the law is the law. They go over there. They start making up excuses as to why they can't stay there. Oh, my mom is giving them a hard time about going over to visit with their dad. At the end of the day, if he continues to fail drug tests, this man is failing these drug tests. And my sister told me, who just worked at Defects the next year, the past year, just worked at Defects, told me that it shouldn't matter what he has to say. He's supposed to be in compliance. Once he decided that he's going to keep failing drug tests, he no longer is in compliance. And if he's not working a case plan, and a part of his case plan is to pass drug tests, he's failing not one, not two, but 3, 4 drug tests every time you turn around, he should no longer have a say. But they continue to let him have a say, and the boys end up going to my mom and dad house. And when they go to my mom and dad house, these people say they gotta leave because my mom is giving them a hard time about visits, even though they're still going on the visits. My mom is probably popping her crap or saying whatever she want to say because she's frustrated at how she was treated. But they're still going on all of the visits. These people come over there, take them out of my mom and dad's house, and put them back in a foster care home. And I actually made a complaint. December 18th, 2023, I called and made a complaint with CPS about the lady who they're over there with them now at this very moment. I made a complaint. Did they ever follow up on my complaint? Did they ever say anything about my complaint? How many times was I not able to have a visit? How many times was I not able to have my visit because the boys had to go camping in the woods somewhere, or they were too sick, or the lady didn't want the transporter lady coming to her house so she can only pick him up from daycare, and today he's not at daycare, so he can't come over there. How many times did they get sick and cut and gnashed or nicked or whatever or scratched over at these other people's house? So long story short, I feel like my children's father is helping these people because he's not interested in getting them himself. Because he can't. Because if he was able, if he wanted to get them himself, he would get off drugs or stop doing whatever he's doing to fail drug tests. Because he's claiming that he's not smoking drugs. He claims that he's just dealing with drugs. But even if so, but if you're still working and you know that you dealing drugs, it's then in between you getting your children and not getting your children, and you're working and dealing drugs supposedly, because I really don't even feel like that's the case. I really feel like he's actually doing drugs. But if you claim just stop dealing drugs and just work your job. So obviously you don't want the children. You're not in compliance. These people are trying to adopt my children out. And that's the reason why they took them from out of my mom's house. And they're trying to put them, because you don't get any money for placing them with next of kin. You get money for adopting them out. And they keep, and the way that they're getting over is, oh, well, Mr. Patterson. Yeah, fuck him. I say his name. I don't care. Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson said, whenever I'm doing everything I was supposed to do, they told me to get an apartment. I'm sitting in my apartment. They told me to get stable income. I was just working at Blue Cross Blue Shield, probably making almost as much as they ass do for like the past 12 months. The reason why I had to stop working is because I'm in this program now. They told me to settle my charges. I settled my charges. I'm on probation now. I'm in this program now. So now I can't work because I'm spending most of my day in the darn program. So how I'm going to work and be in the program? I have to be in that program. If not, I can't. And it doesn't matter because I can still pay my rent. I'm not homeless. So even with no job, I'm still able to sustain myself. You said have a stable income. I have a stable income. Have stable housing. I have stable housing. Settle your charges. I settle my charges. Even if you get probation, I'm on probation. Now I go to court. My lawyer don't show up. When I told them I was trying to get weekend visits. These people do not want me to spend long amounts of time with my children. Because even when my mom got them, and I said, well, my mom can host a visit. It was like, no, we have to have somebody from our system over there. My mom should be able to legally, like my sister said, my mom should be able to be the person that's over my visits. I shouldn't need anybody but we need somebody to sit in the house and do social cues and look at the kids and cut our eyes and monitor what's going on to make sure that whatever secret we're trying to keep secret is not exposed. They don't want me to be alone with my kids. Because at this point, we're so far into the process that I'm supposed to be able to have weekend visits with my children. And I'm not able to do that. And I started having the weekend visits, but they're supposed to be monitored. Okay, fine. I hate that. Don't want no monitored visits, but if you're telling me I can see my children for 8 hours instead of 2, cool. Let the lady come over here. Now all of a sudden, her dad is sick. You're a grown woman, honey. What that supposed to mean? Your dad is sick. Do he stay with you? And they always giving you personal reasons as to why they doing something. Why you couldn't come to court? Oh, well, my child, what they got to do with anything? When I was just working on customer service and I was working for Blue Cross Blue Shield, when I get on that phone, and people don't care. I can't get on the phone and say, well, I can't handle your insurance claim because my daughter. They're going to say, man, well, why are you clocking in today? What they got to do with me? People don't care about what your personal problems when they trying to get their services met. That's the personal problem. What they got to do with anything? These people want you at work, period. They want you at work. You're supposed to be at work doing your job. All that other stuff don't have anything to do with me. Don't tell me about what's going on in your personal life. I don't care who did what and who did what. All I care about is my stuff being done because all I'm supposed to care about. I'm a customer. You don't go to McDonald's and people say, oh, well, I would have gave you your food correctly, but at home I got this. That ain't none of my business. Give me my Big Mac. That's all we care about. But they always try to tell you about their personal life whenever stuff, because it's a human services job. They're real cushy. They give you days off. And I've had these jobs. It's not special. You're not doing anything special, sweets. I would never work this job because the lady that I first was dealing with, first of all, the night that I got into an argument with my baby father that got me put in jail, the lady that was working my case was already standing outside. He called her first before he called the police. And she was the lady that was working our case. She came down to the jail giving me attitude and giving me problems. But she didn't think I was going to get out of jail. So when I bonded out, same day I bonded out, she quit. The lady who gave my father a test and didn't ask him for his social security card, but the one who and he quit too. Every time you turn around, somebody's quitting this job. My sister quit this job. She went to school to be a social worker. And that's a good job to have down here in this town. Be a little social worker, get you some money, pay your bills. She went to school for that job. She worked there for maybe a little under 12 months and she quit. Why do people keep quitting this job? I done went through 3 supervisors since I started this situation. I went through 3 supervisors I had first. My first supervisor was a heavyset white guy. Then I had some other black woman, lighter skinned black woman. Then I have the lady that I have now. The lady that I had, my last caseworker was a friend of my sister's. And my sister said, oh, yeah, well, she smokes marijuana. I've seen her smoke marijuana. So, I mean, these people that work for this place is just very unbecoming. This has been so unprofessional from beginning to end. It has been very unprofessional. And they're very much team my baby father. And if he don't like it, it's not going to happen. Or they're going to find a way to make it unhappen. Because like I told you, he was working with defects before I even got down here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed a lot like entrapment and conspiracy. Because he's definitely the police. Because every time we've had the DV situation, the police always sided with him. I'll be sitting there pregnant, gut full of baby, and the police is going to side with him. So I'm just putting this out here. I'm recording this because I don't have any more space left on my phone. So I'm going to have to post this. We go to court today. The lady told me, okay, we're going to try to put the kids with you. She asked me for my income, give her my income. I don't know if it wasn't good enough, but the lady told me, my last case manager told me that as long as I have any kind of income, that's considered stable income. And I have stable income. But he didn't show up today. So because he didn't show up, there's no court. Because y'all know who he is. He's El Chapo, big boss. Okay? If he don't show up to court, ain't no court. There ain't gonna be no court date. Let's dismiss. Let's dismiss until Mr. Patterson can get down here. And when he can get down here, then we can continue. Because we can't get nothing done without him. Because we don't want to do anything, because that's good. That's gonna look like he didn't show up. And if he didn't show up to court, that makes him look bad. And if he looks bad, that's not no good for us. Because they done told him, these kids are gonna end up with you. And he tells me, oh, I don't want them with you, because they're gonna end up with your mom, da-da-da. These are excuses. My lawyer didn't come to court. Like at this point in time, I want to be my own lawyer, because I think I would defend myself better than these individuals are anyway. But you got to go through a whole process just to get rid of your lawyer. You can't just say, oh, look, I don't want to work with this person no more. You got to go through a whole process. And I really don't want to work with him no more. If he shows up to court on the next upcoming court date and they say that I have to continue in this process or whatever, I'm gonna let them know I don't no longer want to work with him. I want a new lawyer, or I just don't want any defense at all, because this is ridiculous. This was a big deal. Me and him have been talking about this for a long time. We had made court dates prior to this one, and nobody from DFACS showed up. So he understands just how big of a deal is this for me. But like I said, these people are all in cahoots together. That's how it is in these small towns. The police officer, when I first went into the DV shelter, the police officer told me, and she worked for the Columbus Police Department. She told me that she was down in the deep south, in a smaller town than this one. She told me that her husband, who was also a police officer, but he was a police officer down in that little itty bitty town they're from, beat the crap out of her so bad that when she got to the hospital, they wouldn't even believe that. They didn't even want to say that she really got beat on. They were saying she fell, and only one of the nurses had enough courage to say anybody with eyes could see this lady was beat badly. She didn't fall down, and she said that the judge granted her daughter to him. She had to sneak up on him while he was at a gas station, left her child in the pickup truck. He went in the gas station. She stole her daughter out of the truck. She drove to another town, and had him fight for his daughter in that town. And that town actually granted her the custody of her daughter, not the town that she originated in. And then they moved from there to here in Columbus. And that's when she became a police officer. But it's obvious that these people are in cahoots with him. You know what I mean? And I thought it was because, you know what I mean? But this man has cursed them out. He has told them off. He has spoken to them crazy. He has bragged to me about the way he talked to them. I've never cursed these people out. I never disrespected these people. I've carried myself with class, or tried to maintain some type of class every time I dealt with them. I ain't never kicked nobody out. But I'm being taken through all this. I'm trying to understand why they're being so biased towards him. Because I promise you, if he don't say go, it's not going to go. You being in a court, and then when he does show up, oh my God, it's uncomfortable with how much they're kissing his ass. I feel like I'm watching something wrong. I feel like I'm watching soft porn with how much they're, are you okay, Mr. Patterson? How's your day, Mr. Patterson? Do you need a lawyer, Mr. Patterson? Oh, you're working, Mr. Patterson? I feel like I'm watching something nasty. I'm like, damn, I'm uncomfortable with how much y'all are kissing his ass. This feels like soft porn. So let's just hope and pray that he decides that he want to show up next time. Because I feel like at this point, they're trying to adopt my kids out. Because obviously he don't care to get them. Because if he cared to get them, he would stop having dirty drug tests. Or maybe they're trying to wait until he gets a clean one in. Because then even the judge will see, well, why were y'all even entertaining this man for this long? If every one of his drug tests came out dirty, and every one of the tests that he had since these kids has been in the system have been dirty. So if all of his drug tests came out dirty, then why are we even entertaining what he wants and what he doesn't want? He's out of compliance. Because I'm going to post this on Facebook. Because I feel like they're trying to adopt my kids out. It goes all the way back to that Nancy Schaefer thing, where they get more money for every time they bring these kids over here for visits. The transporters get paid. See, because I was trying to get my mom to handle my visits, but then people, money don't get exchanged that way. If your mom is doing the visits, then we don't have to pay her. See, all these people need to get paid. The people that do the transporting, the adopted family, they need to get their money, and they all be in cahoots together. So I'm just putting this out there. I want to make this public. I've done everything these people told me to do. Poverty, even if I'm not a rich or whatever, poverty is not a reason to take people's children away from them. If that's the case, nobody would have their children. You know how many people running around poor and can't barely make rent? If that's the case, nobody would have their kids. That's not an excuse not to have your children. So at the end of the day, they're waiting on him. Why are they waiting on him? I don't know. Who cares what he think? He don't want the kids, because if he wanted the kids, he would have stopped dealing drugs. So he claimed he's dealing drugs. If he would have stopped dealing drugs, or he would have stopped using drugs, he don't want the children, but he don't want them with me. He even told me, I'd rather than be in a foster care system than be with your parents, than be with your family. That's because he grew up in a foster care system. I never grew up in a foster care system. Say what you want about my mom. She might be a little rough around the edges. She might be a little ghetto or whatever. I think she's eccentric. I don't think she's ghetto. She got her own style. Some people have their own style. Everybody don't have a copy paste personality. You understand what I'm saying? But she took care of me my whole life. She took care of me my whole life. The only amount of time I was away from my mom was 2 years. And I think I turned out just fine. Now, I don't know. Maybe I did not. But I have my college degree. I'm only one semester away from my bachelor's degree. I need one more semester to get my bachelor's degree. I just had a job making just as much money as y'all do. I got a raise every 3 months. I have a daughter already 13 years old. I've already showed that I can keep a child alive for 13 years. My daughter's fine. She's perfect. She don't have any health issues. She don't have any other issues. So I'm trying to understand what's the holdup, because I really feel like something strange and weird is going on. Because we shouldn't even be worried about what he thinks. He's not even doing his part. He don't care. Obviously, he don't care, or else he would have stopped doing drugs, or he would have went to rehab. Because if he would have went to rehab, he could have went in there, did his 6 months. They would have gave him those kids. I even supported them giving him. They was talking about giving him the kids. I supported that. Then they waited until the last minute, right before the court date, and was like, oh, well, he got a dirty drug test. First, it was, oh, he was peeing clean. He got a clean drug test. He got to clean that. Right before it was time to go to court, we tested his hair follicles, and the hair follicles came back. That it was like, stop it. So y'all not trying to put them with him. That's what's making me scared. The scary part does not make me feel like, oh, they're not trying to put them with me. The scary part was that they wasn't even trying to put them with him. He quit his job. He worked out in West Point, Georgia. He quit his job so he could be more local because he thought he was going to get the boys back. Come to find out, they didn't even give them to him. So it made me feel like, what are y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to give my children to the adopted family because y'all want the money. We're not going to do that. So I'm about to get ready to make this public, and I'm going to post it on Facebook, because usually I just post it from my YouTube page and I'll leave it there. But I'm going to post this on Facebook too, because I'm very irritated with these people. And DFAC's got a really bad history of being full of crap. People might feel like it's embarrassing. I don't care. When it comes to my children, I do not care. So I'm showing my face. I'm showing my face, because usually I won't even show my face. I'm showing my face, because when it comes to my children, I don't care. Because they was giving that couple a hard time, and they had money. They were married. They had businesses. They had their own paid for lawyer. It just seemed like some real weird stuff is going on. You're not going to adopt my children out. I did what you told me to do. So you need to make it your business to give me back my kids. Every time I turn around, it's a continuance. Oh, but your lawyer is not here. All this malarkey. I'm going to need you to give me back my children. Then you gave them to my mom, and then just went over there one night and just stole them out of there. That has to be like some kind of weird, that has to be illegal as all get out. And I think that they're scared that I'm going to go to court, because I was supposed to go to court beforehand, and they lied to me about the court date. I think these people are very, very afraid that I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to stand up and tell them how they snatched those boys out of my mom's house for nothing. and they violated my rights several times over. But honey, if you don't want to get in trouble for things, don't do stupid stuff. Because you knew eventually, like, yeah, I probably missed that court date because you lied. But you know, eventually, honey, I'm going to be able to stand in front of a judge. So if you're scared and you don't want to be exposed, don't do stupid stuff. I don't do stuff that I can't stand on. Whatever I did, I can stand on it. I don't do stuff that I can't stand on. Like, I'm really tired of this. I'm gonna post this, and I'm gonna go ahead and post this video to Facebook. Only reason why I went live is because I don't have any space in my phone. But I'm tired of dealing with DFCS. Like, I really am, and it's making me feel like they're being very biased towards the dad. And when I asked the lady, because my lawyer had told me, because once they told me, okay, they told me I get on probation. They told me once I get on probation, I could start working towards getting the kids put back with me. And they told me that I knew we had a court date today, May 10th. That's what they told me. And I was like, I can't wait till May 10th. They was like, okay, well, if you get with your lawyer, you can get them before, you can do it before May 10th. Got with my lawyer. My lawyer gave me a court date. Guess who showed up? Nobody from DFCS. They were sick, dying, all this other fake I talked to my baby father, and he's still saying the same thing. I don't want them over there. I don't want them with you. So everything is about him. Because shoot, at the end of the day, I wasn't talking to him, but I felt like, well, everybody else is kissing his ass. I'm always kissing his ass too. Because it looks like I ain't gonna get nowhere if I don't kiss his ass. So shoot, I started kissing his ass too, calling him up. Oh yeah, I don't want them with you. I don't want them with you. I called James 9, and I was like, so what's going on? Then he was like, okay, I'll let him go with you. And then it was like, oh no, I'm telling you, if he don't say go, I don't know if I'm dealing with DFCS or him. Who am I dealing with exactly? Because it sounds to me like they made him a promise that they all of a sudden can't keep. Now, I'm not gonna say too much about that. But that's that with that. All I wanted to do was put that out there and get ready to post this video, and I don't care. I will shame myself and shame the devil and tell the truth when it comes to my children. Because if those people have to fight tooth and nail and they had all those different things in order, imagine me who don't even have half that stuff. You know, when you're a low income person, these people think they can just take your children and just put them in a system and just pull a fast one. Because you can't afford a lawyer and you can't afford this and can't afford that. Especially down here in these small towns where everybody's a good old boy. If you know what I mean. If you know, you know. All right. Thanks for listening. I got to go. I really don't even know how to end the live. I'm sorry. I don't go live. I don't know how to end the live. Oh, what am I doing? Why is it going backwards?